Brothers, let me tell you something real. Intimacy is not just about the body, it's about the soul. Too many men today approach women with the mindset of performance. They think intimacy is only about lasting longer, but doing more or proving themselves. But a woman feels intimacy differently. For her, the sweetest moments are not always in the physical act, but in the emotional security you create. When you raise her leg during intimacy, it's not just a position. It's a message. It's your body telling her, I want all of you. I'm not afraid of closeness. I'm here, fully present. That simple act makes her feel opened, cherished, and deeply connected. It's not the leg itself. It's the way you lead with confidence, the way you own the moment without hesitation. Too many men underestimate this. They think women just want expensive gifts, fancy words, or endless techniques. No, a woman craves depth over display. She wants a man who makes her feel safe enough to let go, vulnerable enough to surrender, and strong enough to guide. And that, my brother, is why something as simple as raising her leg can unlock emotions inside her heart she didn't even know were there. Let's break this down. When a man raises a woman's leg during intimacy, most people think it's just a physical act, a way to make things more exciting. But let me tell you the truth, my brother, it's not about the angle. It's not about flexibility, it's about presence. Presence is when you are fully there with her, mind, body, and energy. Too many men enter intimacy with distractions. They're worried about how they look, about whether they're performing well, or even comparing themselves to some fake story they've seen online. That is absence, and absence is what kills connection. Now think about what happens when you take control, when you confidently raise her leg and guide her body. In that moment, you're sending a message without words, I am here with you, I see you, I want you. And trust me, women feel that. They feel the difference between a man who is halfway there and a man who is fully locked in. The sweetness she feels is not simply from the physical sensation. It's from the psychological safety you create. When you lead with presence, she doesn't have to second guess whether you desire her. She doesn't have to wonder if you're hesitant. She can feel your strength, your certainty, and your intention. That's what makes her melt. Brothers, presence is power. And power is not about control in the toxic sense. It's about direction with care. Raising her leg is symbolic. It shows initiative. It shows leadership. It shows you're guiding the moment, not waiting passively for her to decide everything. And here's the reality women test men every single day. Sometimes consciously, sometimes unconsciously. They're constantly asking in their hearts, can I trust this man to lead me? Can I surrender to him fully? When you show presence, when you take charge of even a small moment like this, she gets her answer. And the answer is yes. So understand this. Raising her leg is not just about pleasure. It's about presence. It's about showing up as the kind of man who knows what he wants, who gives direction, and who makes her feel safe enough to give herself completely. That, my brother, is where the sweetness comes from. One of the greatest misunderstandings men have about women is this. They think women want to be in control when it comes to intimacy. They confuse independence with desire. Yes, a woman may be strong in her career, decisive in her daily life, and able to handle things on her own. But when it comes to intimacy, most women don't want to carry the responsibility of leading. What they crave is a man who has the courage and confidence to take charge in those private moments. Now, let's be clear, leadership is not about being aggressive or selfish. It's about creating an atmosphere where she feels guided, protected, and desired. When you lead in intimacy, you are telling her, relax. You don't have to think. You don't have to worry. I've got this. And that assurance makes her sweetness rise because she feels safe enough to let go. A woman feels most feminine when she can surrender to a man's masculine leadership. And this is where so many men go wrong. They hesitate. They wait for her to decide the pace, the style, the rhythm. They put the responsibility on her shoulders, and in doing so, they make her feel less like a woman and more like a director of a performance. That kills attraction. But when you lead, when you confidently raise her leg, shift her position, or guide her movements, you awaken something primal inside her. You tap into her natural instinct to follow, to trust, to receive. And in that surrender, she feels alive. She feels feminine. she feels desired. The truth is, leadership and intimacy is not just physical, it's emotional. Women love it when a man knows what he wants and is unafraid to take it while still making her feel valued. That balance between strength and care is what unlocks her deepest pleasure. So remember this, brother, when you lead in intimacy, you're not just making her body respond. You're making her heart open. You're allowing her to step into her softness while you stand firm in your strength. That's why women love leadership, because it frees them from control and it lets them be exactly what they want to be. A woman fully alive in the presence of a strong man. Brothers, listen carefully. Your words can lie. Your compliments can sound rehearsed. But your body language never lies. A woman will always pay more attention to what you do than what you say. That's why when you confidently raise her leg during intimacy, the sweetness she feels doesn't come from your mouth. It comes from your actions. Most men don't realize this. Women are emotional sensors. They can read hesitation in the way you touch them. They can feel insecurity in the way you move. They can even sense uncertainty in the pauses you take. And nothing kills attraction faster than a man who feels unsure of himself. On the other hand, strong body language communicates confidence without you ever needing to say a word. The way you touch her, the way you guide her, the way you hold her, it all speaks to her subconscious. I am safe with him. I can trust him. He knows what he's doing. That is what makes her sweetness overflow. When you raise her leg with certainty, you are not just shifting her body. You are shifting her emotions. You are showing her that you are decisive, that you are present, and that you are in control of the moment. That is far more powerful than any line or compliment you could whisper in her ear. Here's the truth. Women are not attracted to endless talking during intimacy. They're not keeping score of how poetic you sound. They're paying attention to how you make them feel. And feelings are not triggered by words. They are triggered by presence, touch, and body language. This is why your physical confidence matters more than your verbal confidence. You don't need to announce you're a man. She can see it in the way you move. You don't need to tell her she's desired. She can feel it in the way you hold her. So understand this. Body language is the loudest language you'll ever speak. And when you use it with confidence, certainty, and care, you won't need to convince her of anything. Her heart, her body, and her soul will already know the truth. Brothers, let me tell you something that most men overlook. Intimacy is not just a physical exchange. It's an emotional unlock. Yes, the body is involved. Yes, the pleasure is real. But beneath all of that, there's something deeper happening inside a woman's heart. And when you understand this, you will never look at intimacy the same way again. When you raise her leg during intimacy, it may look like just a move, just another position. But in truth, it's symbolic. You're not just opening her body. You're opening her trust. You're inviting her to let go, to be vulnerable, to surrender fully into your leadership. And when a woman surrenders like that, it is never just physical, it's emotional. You see, women are wired differently. For most men, intimacy can remain surface level. But for women, every act carries an emotional weight. If she feels safe, if she feels desired, if she feels cherished, her body responds in sweetness. But if she feels unsure, if she senses hesitation, if she feels objectified rather than valued, her body resists and her heart closes. That's why the emotional unlock is so powerful. When you lead with certainty, when you show her through your actions that she can trust you, she doesn't just give you her body, she gives you her heart. And that is what makes intimacy unforgettable. Think about it. Anyone can touch her physically, but only a man who knows how to make her feel safe can touch her emotionally. And it's that emotional touch that keeps her coming back, that makes her smile when she thinks of you, that makes her crave not just the act, but you as a man. So, brother, don't chase performance. Don't get lost in the idea of being the best physically. Instead, focus on unlocking her emotions. Because once her heart is open, her body will naturally follow. And when both align, when her body and heart are fully connected, that's when she feels the sweetness she can't put into words. That is the true power of intimacy. Not in the position, not in the motion, but in the emotional unlock behind it. Brothers, if there is one quality that separates men who only touch a woman's body from men who touch her soul, it is confidence. Not arrogance, not ego, confidence. Because confidence is the very ingredient that creates chemistry between a man and a woman. Think about it. A woman can sense your energy before you ever speak a word. If you approach intimacy with fear, hesitation, or self-doubt, she feels it instantly. She may not always say it, but her body knows. And instead of opening up, she closes down. Instead of feeling safe, she feels unsure. But when you move with confidence, when you act with certainty, her body relaxes and her heart leans in. Confidence tells her, I know what I want, and I'm not afraid to take it. It tells her, I can guide you, I can hold you, I can lead you. That's why something as small as raising her leg can have such a powerful effect. It's not the position itself, it's the confidence behind it. She feels that you are not second guessing yourself. You're not waiting for permission. You're leading, and that's what ignites the fire inside her. Here's the truth: women don't remember technical details. They don't replay the number of minutes or the exact motions. What stays with them is how they felt. Did they feel desired? Did they feel cherished? Did they feel your strength wrapping around them like a shield? That feeling, that memory, comes from your confidence. And confidence doesn't mean being rough or careless. It means moving with clarity, intention, and assurance. It means being so present in the moment that she feels your focus on nothing but her. It's in the way you touch her, the steadiness in your movements, the certainty in your actions. That's the chemistry builder. When a woman feels your confidence, she doesn't just respond physically. She blossoms emotionally. She lets her guard down. She surrenders. She trusts you with parts of herself she would never give to an uncertain man. That's the beauty of confidence. It's contagious. The moment you radiate it, she feels it, and it creates an energy between you that no words can explain. So, brother, remember this technique may spark attraction, but confidence sustains chemistry, and it is chemistry, not performance, that makes intimacy unforgettable. Brother, let me tell you the truth. Intimacy is not just about pleasure. It is a mirror. It reflects who you are as a man. The way you handle a woman in those private moments reveals everything about your masculinity, your confidence, your presence, your ability to lead, and your emotional depth. Think about it. A man who hesitates, who is unsure, who waits for her to take the lead, that same man often struggles to lead in life. He lacks decisiveness. He second guesses himself, and women can feel it. On the other hand, a man who takes control with gentleness, who guides with certainty, who knows what he wants and moves with intention, that man shows his strength not only in the bedroom, but in every area of his life. When you raise her leg, when you lead her body with confidence, when you hold her as if you know she belongs in your arms, you're not just showing her your desire, you're showing her your masculinity. You're showing her that you can take responsibility, that you can create safety, that you can command with love. And that, my brother, is what every feminine woman craves. Women are naturally drawn to men whose intimacy matches their masculinity. Because if you can't lead in the most vulnerable and intimate space, how can you lead in the bigger battles of life? If you can't make her feel safe in the bedroom, how can she trust you to protect her heart, her dreams, or even her future? Intimacy magnifies truth. It strips away the masks, the fake confidence, the show-off tactics. In those moments, a woman sees the real you, and that's why it matters. If you are weak in spirit, she will feel it. If you are distracted, she will sense it. But if you are grounded, confident, and present, she will not only feel it, she will respect it. So understand this: every intimate moment is a test of masculinity. Pass that test, and you don't just win her body, you win her trust, her loyalty, and her admiration. That is the kind of masculinity that leaves a mark on a woman's soul.